How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video today. So I decided to chime in on this segment. I was watching this podcast with Jay Payne, Aaron. I'm not too familiar with Aaron, but I always see her whenever I watch these podcasts. And then Curtis King. And of course, the story with Dame goes so far back for me. The inspiration that this man has had on the culture, especially the underground scene, for me has been huge. It's a story for another day. If you guys really want to hear about it, just drop in the comments and I'll make a separate video about what I think about Dame and how I feel like Dame has really impacted the culture from my point of view. But what I wanted to talk about, they were talking about so many important things in this video that I thought were very, very critical. And I wanted to chime in and just give my 2 cents, or just like react to the video rather. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that Curtis King is talking about and mentioning. And honestly, I can tell from the body language that Dame and Aaron, mostly because those were the two people I was looking at the most as I was watching, as he was saying. A lot of things he was saying, I felt like they didn't really understand, or maybe they did at the same time, but they were also debating, which is fine. It's completely healthy to have these debates. But I definitely agree on a lot of the things that Curtis King is saying, to be blunt, because when you care about something, you should move like it. You know what I'm saying? You should move like it, and you shouldn't just act like you shouldn't just act like this. When you love something, you should move like it. It's really that simple. And then it shows when you don't love something, right? Even though, it's possible to love something, it's possible to not love something and keep doing it because it's beneficial to you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what a lot of people, do when it comes to music. Because like Dame said earlier in this conversation, it's easier to create music nowadays. So it's almost like anybody can be anything. I'm saying somebody who doesn't know anything about music can go and buy everything they need, create a good musical product, and all of a sudden, and it goes viral and they're made some way, shape, or form. It's possible. But not to bore you guys with a bunch of thoughts in my mind, let's just keep watching the podcast from here to the end. And I'm not going to restart the whole thing. I'm going to take it back a little bit, and then I will basically just continue from there.
I could imagine somebody saying the same thing, right? Or
what in particular?
What'd you say?
About what in particular about Soulja Boy?
About just the quality of the art, right?
Yeah, I get what he's saying, because when Soulja Boy came out, there's something that Curtis has been saying previously before this. I feel like when Soulja Boy came out, it was so new to everybody, and the music, the quality wasn't all that, right? So people were kind of confused, and I think all of that helped Soulja Boy get to where he was at. You know what I'm saying? Being first person on YouTube, first artist on YouTube, all of that was, I think at that point in time, there was so much to talk about when it came to Soulja Boy that it seemed like, what is happening to music? You know what I'm saying? At that point in time. But look, clearly that was just the beginning stages. So Dame is basically trying to say at every stage in music, there has been something that has catapulted or caused a scene, made everybody talk. You know what I'm saying? And today's scene is basically Spotify, and just the way Spotify is choosing to handle the things that they're handling. So
these were a thing. Everybody was saying, I'm not buying the CD because there's only one good song on it, right? What's the difference between that and what we're saying today? And it's definitely not just a streaming thing. Music has become easier to make, and there's a lot more people making it. But I think that also is an opportunity for people to really stand out. Hence Killer Mike's album, right? Why are they praising it? Because it is a high quality album that sticks out amongst all this other stuff that's going on. So I don't understand, like, you still have the ability to put your price on things on your own platform. You have the ability to create the best art you can create. Why are we worried about what other people are doing?
Because he has the system and the team.
Dame has a point. Honestly, Dame has a point. Even though it doesn't matter, and I know Curtis is about to respond and say because he has a team, etc. That's true, But you can't be so focused on somebody else having a team and somebody else being successful to the point where now you act like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna like you got to stop looking at what everybody else is doing and focus on what you want to do. Let me just keep it that simple. It's black and white. It's that simple. Because if you keep focusing on what everything they have, that could discourage you to want to make decisions that you shouldn't make. I'm saying you got to focus on yourself and focus on where you're at. What is your roadmap for success? I'm saying find that.
To support such an effort where he can focus on solely the art and it not hurt the business of the art. Me as a solopreneur with a smaller team, I at this moment don't have that ability. Just being
But
transparent.
you just talked about all the other revenue streams you have to be able.
You see these bags under my eyes, Dave? You know how hard I had to work for these other revenue streams? This is when I learned that there's a difference between having 7 streams of revenue and working 7 different jobs. There's a big difference.
That shit ain't easy, man. That's why some people just choose the easy route, you know what I'm saying? Or that's why when we have to argue about the whole Spotify conversation and how he's removing his music, and earlier Dame asked him, be honest with me, Curtis, if you had 500,000, that was the beginning of when I was like, bro, I need to react to this to give my input. That shit is cap. I don't believe you have to be so successful already to have 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify and you remove all of your music from Spotify. That does not make any sense. His response, I get it, bro. You have to, the way Curtis responded to that, you have to respond. I might go back to that at the end of the video. He had to respond to the question the way he responded to it because, bro, there's no other way around that. You kind of have to stick to your gun at that point because you've already made the statement of removing and how you feel about it, right? But bro, any other person, that does not make any sense. Like, if I have 500,000 listeners and I'm making $178,000 a month, what the fuck? What? A year even? Why would I want to remove that revenue stream for no reason? That doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about, bro? Who is listening to this nonsense? Bro, where are the artists that you are listening to? The artists that follow you, who would hear something like this and think that makes sense? How does that make any fucking sense, bro? Why would you remove your song catalog from Spotify if you have that much music? If you're making that much, bro, use that bread to go and do something else. That doesn't make any sense.
Between those, and I'm learning.
Right, bro be making sense. Bro makes sense and he says a lot of things that are factual, but then he'll also say something that makes you go, dude, what? There's no way you believe that. You're only saying that because you have to, because of all the decisions you've made leading up to this point. But logically, that does not make any sense.
Firsthand, as a solopreneur, I haven't always been the best leader of teams because I make friends out of everybody that I work with. I love that.
And that's true. I think that's been my problems too. And I'm working on trying to find ways of just being able to just like, that's the reason why I don't think friends, only the closest friend to me that I have that I could actually do business with and it makes sense has to be Screwface Jean. If you guys don't know who Screwface Jean is, you got to go check him out, man. Artist from Nebraska. That's my brother, my cousin. And I don't think I could do business with anybody musically the same way I do business with him because it just works. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people have the ability to find somebody where the chemistry works and you guys can create and do your thing to where it just works. You know what I'm saying? So I know what he means because I tend to be, I would like to say I'm a pretty nice person. You know what I'm saying? But at some point in time in your life, being nice does not help you, bro. It actually causes more harm to your career than you might think. Now, I'm not saying go out and be an asshole to everybody, but bro, sometimes there's a reason why certain assholes are where they are. The people who are considered to be assholes, there's certain reasons why they are in certain spectrums, right? Because like, bro, if you're not an asshole to somebody is going to be an asshole to you, and you're not going to move up. I'm not advocating to be an asshole to anybody. I'm just saying, like, overly being nice, I think is one of those symptoms that cause certain people to perish on their way up. Because instead of, holding people accountable for things that they should be doing, you let them slide, and you keep letting them slide. By the time you realize it, or by the time you kick them out of your establishment, you've already begun your stumbling down has already began in such a way that it's like, oh my God, Why didn't I see this long ago? I'm just saying, like,
That also causes for some people to get comfortable and not to put the same output that you would do yourself. So, as a DIYer, I had to go find a way to start it myself so that I can get the capital to hire these people. When I look at a Killer Mike, it's so inspiring to see him do that. And he put his art on there. That's cool. That's his decision. What I'm saying is, Curtis King, at this point in time, for me to pivot from content to full back into music again, things are going to have to shift for me, not only as a business, but also psychologically. And what's bothering me psychologically, and you can call it weakness if you want, is the influence that the streaming environment just has on my art. I don't like the way that I feel when I'm creating, thinking about streaming. I don't like it. That's just,
bro, that doesn't. I'm trying to understand why. Why is it? I can understand. There's something you said after this, because we're reaching to a part of this interview where I paused and turned my camera on. Is it because of the fact that, like, I don't understand it? I'm trying to get, is it like, why do you feel that way so strongly? Is it because why can't the streaming services just be another realm where more people can discover your music? Because at this point in time, think about it. If you've already established where people can go and grab your music without having to be on streaming platforms, then isn't the streaming platform only going to help you? It's going to help more people who don't know you discover you. I'm saying, especially at this level. I can understand a brand new person. You just open a brand new Spotify. Nobody really knows you. Think about that for a second. Even for that somebody. Think about, no matter the age, forget about it. Because I started doing music when I was 13. Imagine that 13-year-old. Let's say I didn't want to be a producer. I want to be an artist. And like Dame said earlier, it's easier now to be almost anything you want to be when it comes to the creative music space. If I'm 13 and my parents gift me with a laptop, a headphone, and a freaking sound card, the Heat Up 2 plugin, a Logic or freaking PreSonus FL Studio, whatever you want to use, bro, and I have zero fans, why would I not want to? Oh my God, that literally does not make any sense, bro. Why would you not? You have to, even the Ryan Leslies of the world, they had to start somewhere, right? Because, back in the day, Ryan Leslie's like the GOAT. He's one of the people who did the whole he went a different path. Like he got people to subscribe using the whole phone number thing. And then now you have companies like DistroKid. Now they have the same type of thing with the whole, you can now have a number to keep track of your fans. Ryan Leslie been doing this since a long time, right? So it's like, how does that 13-year-old who doesn't have any fans, how do you make a dent into the ecosystem being so brand new? One of the easiest ways to do it is to put your music in the freaking stores. It's $20 a year. It's not even expensive. Why would you not want to do that? So what I'm trying to say, like, I get what you're saying, and maybe there's a point in time, maybe you've seen the dynamics. You're like, bro, I'm losing. These people are taking so much money from me that it doesn't make sense for me to put my music here anymore. I might as well just keep doing what I'm doing with my own personal sites, with my own domains. Then if that's the case, then that's fine. But you can't make it seem like you can't put everybody in that category, right? So I mean, I guess that's what you're saying, and there's gonna be people who like this idea, and there's gonna be people who don't care about this idea. And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this or scenario to this. You just have to do what makes sense for you. Do what you feel is right. And I think that's what he's trying to explain. For him, as Curtis King in this point in time, he's not with that. You know what I'm saying? And he has good arguments that is going to come up here, and I'll mention it again when
my personal issue. So now what I'm saying is, when I released it, oh my God, damn, I sat up here and made a beat, and I didn't care about how the rollout of this was going to. I said, put this on the website or on Bandcamp. And the freedom that I felt, even in this moment that I'm still feeling through this project that I'm about to put out, I don't want to let that go. And when I start to have the ability, and I'm already doing,
and that brings me to another point. The fact that Bandcamp still exists today obviously tells you that there are still people out here doing it that way. Obviously there's a market for people who don't believe in streaming or care about streaming, who still do it the other way. Because it doesn't matter what realm you use. There's always going to be people trying to game the system because they want to make more or they want to be seen more. You can't escape gaming the system. Somebody somewhere is going to figure out a way to game. That's just how everything works. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? That's just how everything works. Like, if you want to act like that doesn't happen, bro, then you can be lying to yourself. That's fine.
And now by seeing how these USB cards are selling. My thing is this: the switch happened because a switch happened. It's a domino effect. I don't know if the switch happened the way it did for me right now, where I'm really building out a real business as an artist. I don't know if that doesn't happen. If that happens, if I'm comfortable in a streaming environment, if I'm okay with the standards of it. And I'm not saying it's my hat does not fit everybody. This is not a one size fit all situation.
Right.
I'm saying for Curtis King in 2023, in order to get myself right, to get my head right, and get prepared for this next push as an artist, I have to sacrifice some things. One of those things for me, on the top of the list, was streaming. And then Spotify came around and said, we got a threshold system. I said, cool. You made this a lot easier for me. Now, for somebody else, if you're in a position where that money could change.
That's another thing. So exactly. So for him, that makes so much sense. Because, yeah, so like him feeling the way he feels already. And then now Spotify now adds the whole threshold thing. Now you have to have like 1,000 streams before you can get paid anything. Oh, my God. At first, and I still think till now, that still bothers me. But one of my closest friends, the one I mentioned earlier, you know, he commented on something I posted a while back, and he said he sees no problem with it. If you can't get 1,000 streams, you don't deserve to get paid. That is the most selfish thing I have ever heard anybody say. Because it's like, bro, that doesn't even make any fucking sense. So I can see, and that's the thing. Even as I'm saying it out loud, I just had another thought in my mind that debunks even what I'm saying. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. There's like literally no right or wrong answer. So you're trying to tell me that I can invest thousands into my shit, upload it to your website, knowing, I mean, you are, it's already set up to where you get the biggest percentage. It's already automatically set up. You get the biggest percentage. So now you're making it so on top of the percentages that you get, I have to meet a certain quota before I get paid? Bro, that doesn't even make, I don't, like he said somewhere in this podcast, I don't care if it's fucking 30 cents. Pay me my fucking 30 cents, bruh. Pay me my $5. That is legal robbery. That does not make any sense. Who is approving these? Like, okay, let's say, if I don't know, and that's the thing, I haven't done enough research to know exactly how it all plays out. Is it a threshold system like Google AdSense, you know, like YouTube, where it doesn't pay you out until you hit like $100 is like the minimum? You have to make at least $100 before Google pays you your money. Is this something like that? Or is it literally just you start from 1 cent the moment you hit 1,000 streams? So from the 0 to 1,000 streams, you're trying to tell me, okay, this conversation is so, it's big, man, because you got to really think about it. Are they trying to say, okay, let's use that first 1,000 streams as a maintenance system? Maybe they need that first 1,000 is there to help you. Maybe the money they make from that first 1,000 off of you is to help maintain whatever behind the scenes is going on. Even though, I mean, bro, Spotify's been around for so long, you guys are making more than enough to maintain it with that. Like, and keep every day there's millions of songs being uploaded. Can you imagine? Oh my God, the amount of money these people make every single day. I can see why someone like Curtis King would be like, this is ridiculous. Pay me my money or I'm out. Like, come on, bro. You already making a percentage off the. Why can't I get mine too? Like, can we both win? So you have to almost look at it as in a situation such as this. When you react to songs on YouTube, for example, if you're a reactor, some songs get claimed, some don't get claimed. So you kind of have to use this as, okay, and the songs that do get claimed, if they don't get shut down and the song blows up, you may not get paid from that song, but you will gain something from that song, which is an audience. You know, a lot of people might flock to your channel. A lot of people might subscribe to you because of that song, even though you're not getting paid from it. So you almost have to switch your mindset now. You almost have to actually do the things that Curtis King is talking about right now. You almost have to now become somebody who understands business. Because if you're not hitting these quotas, right, but you're gaining your people, if you have enough in your catalog, over time, it'll still be beneficial to you, right? I still don't believe that 1,000 should stop you from putting your music on those platforms, because let me get back to my other point. Let's say you get up to shit 899 freaking streams. Let's say you've gained 10, 15 people from that song, but you, for some reason, you still can't get up to 1,000. You didn't get paid, right? But at least you gained subscribers, you gained new listeners, you gained people who showed interest in your creative work. So I think I think it's a mindset thing. You kind of have to find a way to just, there's no one size shoe that fits everything. You have to do, this is an industry where you have to constantly keep learning new things, where you constantly have to keep seeking new ideas, where you constantly have to find ways to connect. I think the key word is being able to connect with people, being able to connect with emotions of other people through your craft, so that way they will be able to now invest more into you if they really F with you. You feel me? So like, I could talk about this all day, man. I have a mixed feeling I don't like this at all. I'm not a fan of this whole thing because, again, like I said, I've explained it already. They gain money from you already. So why would they want to be like, is that supposed to make me work harder? I guess, but it doesn't really, because after I work harder, I still have to settle in on the fact that, bro, I know 1,000 seems like nothing, but when you have millions of songs being uploaded in a day, they're literally making millions of stream money for free every single day. If you think about that for a second, again, I don't know how everything all breaks down, but in some way, shape, or form, this is what's happening behind the scenes that nobody talks about. They're making bread off these, man. They're making bread off out of all of us, bro. Like, but at the same time, I've been hearing something about streaming 2.0. I don't know exactly what it all consists of and stuff like that, but I think we live in a time that things are going to a point. You got to be more than somebody that just creates music, or if you're lucky enough to have a team who can just help you build up your other business domains, so that way you're not just relying on streaming alone. Then I think you're good. But I think that statement my bro made, I didn't like it for people who work their butt off and for people who invest into themselves, and then you're investing into yourself only. Like you think about it this way. We are literally, all of us, every artist in the world, we are literally Spotify's biggest affiliate. We are Spotify's biggest affiliate. Think about that for a second, because yes, they do pay us. I understand that, at least I'm not talking about they pay the people who are actually doing, they pay the people who are actually, bringing in the streams. They only favor the people who bring in the streams. If you're not making impact, I don't know what you think you're doing. You're playing yourself. You feel me? So like, they're only paying attention and paying really, they're paying the top, whatever 1% of people the most. And now this pool is supposed to help them get paid even more. And I'm not against anybody getting paid. Get your bread. But I'm saying make it fair, bro. How can we are literally your biggest affiliate, fam. So Spotify is winning in all these streaming services. They're winning in the biggest way possible. It's crazy. We have to buy the products. We have to train ourselves how to use the products. We have to make sure the products are good. Some people don't even care if it's good or not. They're just trying to game the system. After you've invested, all this shit takes money. All this shit takes a lot of money to do. It's not free. So when you think about it for a second, it's like, wow. After all this, then y'all gonna restrict me on not making my cents? Bro, I'm talking cents. Right away, come on, dog. Do you know how let's go back to that example of the 13-year-old. Do you know how exciting to be 13 would be? And again, this is back in the day. I'm not talking about we live in a time where, bro, you got 13, 14-year-olds making millions of dollars online, doing all kinds of shit online. So I'm not talking about, if this was back in the day, right, when the internet was not as exposed to everybody in at least what it can do, right? Do you know what seeing a $5 payment from Spotify or from DistroKid or from TuneCore, as somebody who has invested so much into themselves, And then now you're trying to tell me that man, that shit's crazy to me, bro. I don't know. Like I said, it's very confusing. But there's a reason why they did it. I don't know exactly why. I would love to know the exact specifications as to why this makes sense. But it makes sense to somebody because obviously they voted on this and there was no votes for it. It's more money for them. No matter how you want to put it, if you want to be delusional, that's your problem. It's more money for them. But again, if you are not that's just how life works. If you are not the creator, you will have to settle for whatever's left. And if you didn't create it, you're gonna have to settle for what's less, for what's left, if there's anything left. So it's mind blowing to me because more people are making music, more things are happening. Why do they need to implement this in such a way? At least make it fair. I don't know exactly how it works, but make it fairer than what it's currently in play. Let's get back to this. I'm talking too much.
Your livelihood, sis, bro, do what you gotta do. But have an exit plan. This is monopoly. When you hang out too long in an environment, you leave yourself vulnerable. Same thing as YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. When you leave yourself in one environment and you rely upon one nest egg, you leave yourself vulnerable to where it can be taken away. So
yeah, and that's another thing that makes sense what he just said. Because think about it. Let's say tomorrow something happens in Spotify. This will never happen, in my opinion. I don't think Spotify is going anywhere. I don't think Apple is going anywhere. iTunes is always like, it's just the ecosystem is too big. Like, hey buddy, how you doing, my boy? Hi buddy. The ecosystem is so, I believe that the ecosystem is too big. Like, and the infrastructure has been set up in such a way, there is no way. There is no way. Like, bro, there is. But if it did happen, I still believe there's no way. And because of the fact that, because YouTube is not, bro, for example, do you guys honestly answer, if you guys are still here in the video, do me a favor, just drop in the comments, answer this question for me. Do you think YouTube is going anywhere? On everything I love, if you believe that YouTube is not going anywhere, I don't think Spotify is going anywhere, and I don't think Apple Music is going anywhere. These are platforms that have literally cemented where most people go and listen to music. There's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing anybody can do to make these. So there's too many people invested into them, both the ones we know and the ones we don't know. It's not going anywhere. I don't think it's gonna happen. But what he's saying makes sense. If it did happen, you fucked. What are you gonna do? You fucked. Can't do anything. Like so now you can't. You need to diversify your creativity or your work. So I agree with that.
Make sure that you're diversifying. Make sure that you create spaces that you can control and that you can also pull in your emails from. The hell does Spotify not give me access to all of them?
That's facts, bro. That's fact. That's another good point. It's not just Spotify, but for real. Why does Spotify not give you access to your email list? Do you know how many people, bruh? Because do you know how many people, like, do you know, even me, for how long I've known about this? Honestly, the reason and this probably goes for all of us. The reason we are not more successful in certain things that we do, we are the only ones to blame. Because there are times that we'll know something, we know it's the thing we should do, but because as to not do certain things that we know we need to do or should be doing in order to get ahead. I'm guilty of that many times. There's a lot of things that I know I could have done, I should have done better in times, but I didn't do it because of this or that, or I allowed other things in my life to be an excuse as to why I wasn't able to do this or that. And I'm at the point in my life where I don't do that anymore. I don't make excuses for myself anymore. Even to use the word busy, I don't even use that word busy anymore. I've completely changed how life can. It's funny how your mindset can change and things start becoming better in your life when you simply start to change the dynamics of the vocabularies that you use when you communicate or even when you speak to yourself. If you're not someone who talks to yourself, bro, you got to learn to talk to yourself. Because like especially if you're, not someone who's always outgoing or, you got to learn to talk to yourself, man. Why not? Why is the only time you speak to yourself when you're communicating with other people? That doesn't make any sense. But that's a whole, I don't want to get out of tangent.
Listeners, I can't get the email. That should have been day one.
Again, you start in one space and then you'll end with something that we all can agree with. And
That's my only issue, because I feel like this is not what we've been talking about. And when you say certain things, I'm like, of course, we all agree. You need to monetize because I believe in a critical mass. You need to have your own community that's feeding into you. You don't need to rely on these things. But we started talking about Spotify, and now it's a whole different conversation. I think that's my biggest issue, because it feels like the conversation, the goalposts just keep moving.
yeah, I mean, all that other stuff I love. The only difference, and I just sum it up here, the only difference in what you call it a house, you call it Spotify house, right? The only difference is I don't think the house is as bad as you're communicating it to your community. You're an educator. You're not just an artist. You're an educator in the space. So I think we have to be more responsible how we talk about things. We have to talk about things with more facts.
That's true. I agree with what Damien's talking about, right? Because, sometimes when you are such a big influencer and you've been around the block so many times, you have your view. It's like being a father, right? You've seen the world. And now you're trying to raise your child to kind of see the world with the way you've seen it. Although you mean well, and you're trying to stop them from making the same bad mistakes that you might have made, but the world changes with you. Even at whatever age you're at, the world has changed. It's not the same as it was when you were growing up, right? So you have to be very careful with the ideas and the visions that you install onto the next civilization, rather. So, like, I get what Dame is saying here.
So that it doesn't detour people from going into a house that could have benefited them.
Right, exactly.
Consistent, predictable cash flow that's allowing them to invest in their careers. It's allowing them to license or sell their catalogs for a lot of money. And I don't want to deter anybody from going into that house if they have the skill set or the desire to be successful in that house.
So the house that we're talking about is actually a room to me. Spotify is just a room in a bigger house with a bigger problem. Shout out to Glasses Malone. I'm thankful for the conversation I had with him a few weeks ago. He explained his philosophy that there's a difference between the record business and the music business.
Who?
And when I saw, shout out to Glasses Malone. I'm thankful for the conversation I had with him.
Did he say Glasses Malone? That's crazy, bro. I produced for Glasses Malone back in. Man, I gotta start effing with. I gotta start reacting and checking out more Curtis King's content, because I had no idea. Bro done worked with a lot of people that I've encountered in my life. I produced for Glasses Malone way back when we was touring. I have so many stories, guys. Like, comment, subscribe on this channel, man, if you guys want to hear more about these journeys.
A few weeks ago, he explained his philosophy that there's a difference between the record business and the music business. And when I saw that there's so many metrics that have driven my psyche that are really record business, image first type of metrics, it really freed me up to realize that my numbers don't need to match up to anybody else's numbers for that business to work for my business. Mm-hmm. I say Spotify is a room because when I look at an article like from The Guardian, and it was reported many times in 2018 that musicians in the U.S. receive just 12% of industry revenues. I don't want to go down another rabbit hole, but I do want to present this. What I'm saying is that if you're talking about all musicians in a particular industry that contribute the most important product to all of us, yes, people play different roles, but they only receive 12% of the revenue. There's a bigger issue here. Spotify is just one of the things along the list. So when I make a decision to step away, this is not me saying I hate you, Spotify. It's me saying get your bread, Playboy, but I'm gonna get mine too. Not saying I'm on Spotify, but saying that I am an independent, and by all means, I'll make it happen. And you know what? Down the line, if it makes better sense for us to partner, let's do that. But what I'm gonna bring to you this time are people who actually buy hard tickets to shows.
Yeah.
People who actually buy merchandise.
There's a difference. There's a difference. I saw this article a while back. Bro, just because you're big online does not always equate to ticket sales. So, like, let's say, and as an artist, I think maybe we need to redefine what it means to be an artist, which I don't think makes any sense, right? A musical artist, obviously, is what I'm talking about. A lot of people get ridiculous streamings online and stuff like that. And a lot of the times when they go out, if you go out to their shows, bro, nobody be there, dog. Like, how are you getting this much but you can't even sell tickets? Like, I don't know. It's wild, isn't it? And that puts my mindset in another spectrum. Imagine all of these artists when these things that are going on right now with the whole. This leaves room, in my opinion. This is just my opinion alone, because we already know on the internet you could damn near do anything. You could damn near you can fake so many things online. It's not even funny. This is only going to make it so that people who don't have any other ways to beat that threshold, they're probably going to be trying to use all these fake streaming platforms. So, in a way, oh my God, this shit doesn't make any sense. The rabbit hole for this, I can talk about this. I would spend hours if I started talking about this. So, like, imagine like somebody creates a tool that helps you fake your numbers, right? And this hypothetically speaking, And because a lot of times, a lot of companies who back certain companies that help do something for their company is in the background. Like they have NDA signed, so you can't say shit, right? So like, how do we know Spotify isn't backing one of these billions and hundreds of fake streaming number? How do we don't know that. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to claim nothing. I'm hypothetically speaking here, but we don't know. I'm saying we don't know. So like, I feel like there's gonna be a boom. If this is facts, what's going on, there's gonna be a huge boom in fake Spotify numbers. Because if we thought Spotify numbers were inflated before, watch the inflation of brand new pages that have zero anything. With how did you manage to get 1,000 streams? You have zero followers. You have zero monthly lists, bro. It's about to be a jungle, in my opinion, if this shit is real.
An introvert, and this is what you're used to. You never have to develop those skills to sell when you're inside of a show. Fam, you can't use a streaming forum to sell a t-shirt to somebody in front of you.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to get your ass out here and talk to these people if you want to have fans in the community.
Yeah.
You got a community, but you don't want to commune.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pivoted right into something.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I get what Damien's saying, he pivoted, but like my guy, Curtis is speaking facts, bro. You can't sit here and tell me that this dude is not saying some shit that's real.
We all agree with it. We can wrap it up.
Let me ask real quick, because so regardless of how you look at it, I really do feel
the government is robbing you, and you're honestly dumb if you haven't caught on. You were supposed to get $6,400 from the government.
like foundationally we all agree the specifics of our respective philosophies on streaming. That's where we differ, and you know, whatever. I don't agree with, and actually don't agree with the threshold. Damien and I have butted heads on that before.
To be,
I'm not saying, but again, my stance on that, Pains, I don't necessarily agree with it. It's just not something that I'm going to go to war. I'm not going to go.
no, what we disagree on is that somehow this is an equitable distribution of the money freed up by creating that threshold. And I disagree, because if it's market share, and the market share only exists because UMG and the top three majors all control the vast majority, virtually all of that market share, then it's the reverse Robin Hood effect, as they say. I know that's kind of a platitude, but I think it applies to this. My point is, to be DIY like Curtis, there are some people who are looking at this conversation as a binary, right? Here's Curtis over here. He's saying, fuck streaming.
No, I know you did. I'm saying there are people who are looking at.
friends of you streaming. I'm not saying I'm streaming.
So we have anti-streaming Curtis up and I'm playing, but people who will view the conversation as a binary. Where Curtis is over here saying no more streaming, do it all hand to hand, and then we have Dame over here saying just do streaming. Streaming is the greatest, regardless of how you.
Hey, where are you going with it? That's not what.
Now it's playing.
That's not my stance at all. I've had to interject 3 times to tell you that I'm not the captain for streaming.
I'm just telling you, man. Listen, man. I don't want to call it. No, look, it's too early for all this.
It's way too early. Damn, I finally get to talking and I'm getting dogpiled. What I'm saying is there are people who will misinterpret this conversation as a binary. And on the one hand, they will place Curtis King on the anti-streaming side.
That's what it seems like a little bit. I'm saying, because if you listen to the things I've been saying based on what he was saying like it feels like I'm a lot on his side, mainly because of the fact that he has a lot of points that make sense. And if you just don't want to agree with anything, you can be delusional all you want. Like, but if they, you know, one of them, bro, if Spotify was gone today, a lot of people would lose a lot of their livelihoods. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? And so you have to be able to diversify yourself. Listen to the words that Curtis King is using to explain his thought process, his mindset. Don't just be in your feelings and catch feelings or don't pick sides, bro. Pick what makes sense to you and your career and what your goals are. You first have to define what is your goal. What are you looking to do with this in this space? What impact do you want to make? What visions do you have for your career? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where do you see yourself? Where would you place yourself in the realm, in a room full of very people who do what you aspire to want to be? If you were in that room with those people 10 years from now, what would that look like? Who would those people be? I'm saying, what would it take for you to get there? Once you answer a lot of these questions, which this is only a tip of the iceberg of questions that I'm just spitting out. Once you can answer these questions, then I believe without a doubt that you can definitely then decide which realm is better for you. In my case, bro, I say do both, bro. It sucks. But in this modern day, in the beginning, you have to do both, in my opinion. I'm not telling you, hey, I'm not a tax professional, as they say. This had nothing to do with taxes, but In the beginning, you got to do both, bro. It makes way more sense to do both than to stick to one if you're just starting out. It's very difficult. It's doable, but it's very difficult. It's hard. If you want to really do one, man, that's a lot of freaking work. He just said he has bro. That's nothing. He didn't even have to start from scratch. Keep in mind, he started doing both. He just now, he recently or however long ago it was, that's still recent compared to how long Spotify has been. He just now took it out. So if that's you, it doesn't make sense to to do the exact same thing starting out, bro. If you don't have at least 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify who are consistent, bro, why would you, like, I don't understand. What are you gaining by removing your stuff? What are you actually gaining? Think about it, especially if you're not as out there. If you're not out there like someone like this who creates content every freaking day, multiple times a day sometimes. What are you doing to be removing your catalog for? It doesn't just because you heard, oh, it's bad. Bro, some people some of y'all just don't be using your brains, bro. You got to be smarter than that. People have, these are all opinions. None of everything that everybody's saying, including me, these are all opinions, bro. Like you have to do your own testing. You have to put, you know what I'm saying? You have to study yourself and study your craft and study your audience and study what you are trying to accomplish. Study the impact that you want to make. What does that look like? When you can answer these questions, the sky is the limit for you and your creativity.
And aim on the all in on streaming side. It's not accurate. That's not what you believe. So
Sure.
even if you accept that that's what you guys are saying, which it is not, let me clarify for 18th time, then you have to accept the fact that either side takes a ton of work. And then in addition to that, so right in the middle, you have to learn something.
Success is the acronym for focus.
Exactly, and you have to do it at a high level regardless of whatever your goals are. There's no easy way out. Selling t-shirts is really not easy. Getting 1 million monthly listeners on streaming is really not easy. So no matter what,
the government is robbing you, and you're honestly dumb if you haven't caught on. You're supposed to get $6,400 from the government last week.
those who are listening to this and not knowing what to do really feel like, and maybe we can agree on this as we wind the podcast up, you just have to work hard and at a high level to succeed in any arena in the music.
See, I've said it all. Like, I've been saying it this whole time. Like, in order to be able to actually get ahead, especially in this modern, bro, we don't live in this is not a time where you can decide to just be lazy. There are hundreds every day. Somebody is there's a new child every single month somewhere in the world turning 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like 18, 19, for people have their birthdays every day. And the same way those birthdays are happening, they might happen to want to do music or whatever craft, whatever realm. But right now we're talking about streaming. So when you realize the competition is so vast and you're not waking up every day and putting in work to get ahead, to get yourself ahead than you were the day before, you're not serious. You don't deserve it. So now, as I'm saying what I'm saying, now I almost understand in a different perspective what my friend meant when he said, if you can't get 1,000 streams, you don't deserve it. Because you're not working hard enough. The only part the only reason, because if you're just starting out, how are you supposed to just get So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. You have to it's like YouTube, right? If YouTube has metrics where you have to hit before you can start getting paid, why can't Spotify do it, right? So I get when you put it in that way, it's almost like, because we all put our music on YouTube, whether we're gonna get paid from it or not. You know how many people upload their music to YouTube? When was having that conversation back then? Nobody was having that conversation back then. Nobody was having that conversation. Oh, who's tripping about getting paid on YouTube? But you just want people to hear your shit. So it's almost the same thing now that I think about it. Like, the more I talk about this, the more I get into it, then I'm starting to realize, wow, like, Spotify is actually not wrong for making this decision. Like, they're really not wrong. It sounds fucked up because they've always given you the ability to make money from day one. But when they implement these features, it starts to look like, oh, now you're just trying to fuck us up. Now you're just trying to, and it's not cool to like, you can't tell a business what they need to do they are a business. Their job is to make money. Like, their job is to make money and fulfill a service and to solve a problem. They are already solving the problem. They've been solving the problems all this time. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that they have a platform where you can be a nobody and become a somebody from just uploading music, that you're solving the problem. The fact that a lot of people have lived their lives. I know people who make $500,000 a month from Spotify. Bro, you can't make this shit. You can't sit here. They have changed lives. And Spotify is only one of them, right? Spotify is just one of the most popular ones. They have changed lives. So if they have, like, obviously they have the capital to keep things the way it is, but the point of evolution is to improve. So we, as the people creating this, we might not be able to see. They are the ones who are providing the service. We might not be able to see the end goal, what they're planning to do, right? But maybe they have an idea, they have a vision, and they want to upgrade and they have the right to do it. Like, you may not like it, but it's the reason why they created this, and because no matter what you might say, think, or feel, even if 1% of people left Spotify, in my opinion, will still be good. Because everybody's not going to leave Spotify. Like, we all know it's one of the easiest ways to get heard. Bro, when I started putting music out, I'm still a nobody, honestly, when it comes to putting out music. But nobody knew who the fuck I was. People knew me more from producing than from. So, like, what the fuck? So, like, obviously, now when I start putting my shit on Spotify, I'm gaining listeners, etc. Bro, like, for me, it wasn't even about the money at that point in time. Like, I've literally made more money from YouTube than I have on Spotify. So why would I be tripping if something like this gets implemented? So I feel like the people who are getting mad about this, if you are truly getting mad about this and you still haven't made a cent from Spotify, you're not serious. Because what are you really mad about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, you wasn't making any money on Spotify anyway. So unless you was making money on somehow that money and you got affected, then shut the you know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, it makes sense. So that's what I'm saying. For me, I'm just trying to make the argument that, like, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it makes sense. But I understand why something like that would be in play. If YouTube can do it, and YouTube's requirements is ridiculous. Like, it's fair because it's what I've always been used to. But have you seen the requirement for the YouTube Shorts? Damn, that shit is crazy. But when you think about it from another perspective of if YouTube can do that, then Spotify can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why it's if all these streaming platforms start copying that, everybody's gonna make money, bro. Like, a lot of these companies are only gonna get richer and richer and richer and richer, and then now we're training everybody to only do what they love doing because it's fun or because they enjoy it. And not to do it because, of course, that's what you should do, obviously. But I'm saying, how do you pivot from it just being fun to something that can actually, because I think we can all agree, a lot of times, most of us want to do things that are fun all the time, right? Because why would you not want a life that's not fun, right? So it's like, if we're going to be doing things that are fun majority of the time, that means you're spending a lot of time doing that. That means that you probably want to find a way to make money doing that thing that you consider fun, because if you can, you've hit the jackpot. Like, and I think for a lot of people, that's what we think. That's what we want when we do music. It's like, the fact is, bro, not everybody's going to be successful at doing music. That's impossible. Everybody can't. It's not logically possible. So because it's not logically possible, someone like Spotify can do stuff like that. They know that the 80% of people are not. Maybe the number could be more, it could be less. I don't fucking know. But they know that the vast majority of people aren't gonna, like, gain anything from, like, it won't change anything for the vast majority of people. It literally won't. Because if anything, if you either stop, but if you don't stop and you keep going, you're either gonna get better, you're either gonna gain more and more, or you stop and they're only weeding out people who are not serious. That's what I'm trying to say. This conversation is very interesting because it really depends on how you look at it. Like, yeah.
Business. Makes me hard work. And I think it's amazing for us to have debates about the specifics of what these platforms are offering. However, ultimately, that conversation happens separately from the work. The work has to, the person that could outwork everyone else and outlearn everyone else in 1990 with that very same energy can succeed today. Now that everything's completely different. So whether you're streaming, whether you're not streaming, whether you're doing everything at once, if you're not doing it at a high level with intention and with information and with knowledge on your side and consistently over time, then it's very likely you aren't going to get anywhere and you're going to be frustrated. So I don't think Curtis is saying reject streaming. I don't think Dame is saying don't build community. I think everyone's saying the same thing, and we're in a privileged position to have the space to argue about the finer points and debate the finer points here. I know we're careful about the messaging we put out, so I just want to cap the conversation by saying we're all saying the same thing: build community, work hard, learn. And the people who are destructive forces within the music guru, producer space, YouTube content creator space, music business, education space, the problematic folks are the ones who are telling you what to do and what not to do.
And I just that shit in that category. That's one thing I want to preface. When I first came in here, somebody sent me, and I'm kind of like looking at him sideways because this is some dude. I don't know the good guy's name, but he clips up stuff from conversations and he'll just slide it in my Twitter. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And he got to a clip where you guys were talking about me taking my music off the street. He's like, Dame's like, oh, I think Curtis is thinking about taking it. He's like, and then Dame's like looking like a disappointed dad. He's like, he did. And the clip just stops.
I got that, yeah.
Right, and the clip just stops. And I'm like, I feel like that's 50 Cent me. That's what I do. I just woke up like, what the hell I do? I did was follow my path and try to find some success. But I understand the messaging contradicting with a lot of the things that Dame is saying. Dame, I don't think you understand how much of a fucking honor it is that I know you. I know it's gonna get bleeped out. How much of an honor it is, bro. That's why I asked you the question I asked you before on stream. We can get on stream, but I respect you on such a high level because I studied what y'all did. I studied what you did. And when I look back, even when we had our first interview, I didn't want to ask you no questions for clickbait, bro. I got business questions I want to ask you because I respect your mind. Dame, same thing, bro. I'm so effing proud of the thing that you have built and the way that you pivoted. These thumbnails are wild because they get my attention every single time. So shout out to you. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I love where this is going. I don't love the direction the producer community is going, but that's a conversation for another day.
Can we have that conversation? Just me and you.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Is that right there? When I become
Man, I don't know. I guess I wish I was more involved in the producer community. I'm just not.
full artist mode, they're gonna be like, yo, Curtis.
And with all the things I've been hearing, for the longest time, I've always heard there's so much beef and this, and it makes me just not even want to be involved in none of that stuff, bro. Like, people spend too much time in things that just don't make sense. Things that aren't going to bring no value to yourself or your future or your family. It goes back to the thing I was talking about, bro. What is the intention of what are you trying to accomplish with your time on this planet? More of us need to start answering that question, because if you're not answering that question, everything else you're doing, I feel like you're just wasting your time. Like, man.
Tutorials. Your mama got the tutorials. I don't have nothing for you. I'm not giving you no damn tutorials. Y'all don't deserve the tutorials. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Because y'all have not. That's another conversation. But I'm going to say this. I love y'all. Aaron, it is a pleasure to actually meet you. I've heard your input many times. I love the fact you're able to articulate that in a way where it's like, I never thought about it like that. Let me take this new information and do something with it. What you said about Basquiat. Thank you for telling me that. Because now that helps me to I'm a sponge. It helps me to reframe and understand where I'm at. I just want y'all to always know, I stand on the side of truth and discovery. I'm never here to push no narratives or nothing like that. That is all about, if I'm clowning, it's because that's who I am, right? But I never want you to get the idea that I am like this, in that guru category, because I don't put you guys in that. You're doers. Gurus are not doers. The only thing they do is always be in your face with ads about, see this yacht right here? That's what they do. They don't do the actual work. So I don't look at these guys, and I hope that you never put me in that same category as giving misinformation on purpose. If I've done it, I research it. Every reaction video I've done, the reason why I got such a good success rate is because I actually look up stats along the way, and I care about it because I don't want to be wrong about that. But I'm going to be wrong sometimes because information and numbers can be skewed, but it's never on purpose to push any agenda. At the end of the day, the same people that you guys say that you care about, I care about. These artists, these creators, I want to just, as a consumer, get the best music possible. I don't want to get an artist that's checking off check boxes because some nerdy ass playlist are telling me he should make his songs 1 minute and 30 seconds. I don't want to hear that. I miss my We Major solos at the end of a Kanye West song. Well, unfortunately, a lot of things are not promoting that kind of behavior in the name of commerce. I get it, make your bread. But I, as a music listener and music creator, I miss it. I miss when artists sounded like they care and not disinterested in the process. And that's all that I'm pushing for. So if there's things that I feel have made me disinterested, I feel like it's on my heart to share. My grandma used to say, the more you know, the more you owe. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to say I'm always right, I'm not always right. But just know that my information comes from...
The more you know, the more you owe. I've never heard that before. That's unique.
Pure place. I'm not trying to incite nothing. I'm going to, but it's not my intention. My intention is just to be honest. I'd rather be at peace with myself and at war with the world than at peace with the war with myself. And that's where I'm at right now.
I've been telling you guys for months to claim this free $6,400. Anyone can get this, even
myself and at war with the world than I'm going to. I understand that, but it's not my intention. My intention is just to be honest. I'd rather be at peace with myself and at war with the world than at peace with war with myself. And that's where I'm at right now.
For sure. I think that's a good place. I mean, we wouldn't have won if didn't have a lot of respect for you. So we can end it there. Let's just shout out Two Laws one more time. If you want to get 3 months free music distribution on Two Laws, step up your streaming game on Spotify and all the other DSPs. Use the promo code PAIN, PAIN. Get 3 months free. You can close us out.
Yeah, www.twolaws.com. Use the code PAIN. And again, I just want to emphasize 3 months free, but then $2.99 a month after that. And then if you pay for the full year, it's ridiculously cheap. So we're not pushing a product that's unaffordable for for our listeners, because we appreciate you. And Curtis, we appreciate you for being here.
And if there's ever a conversation that you want to have on the platform about what you're doing and how it differs from a lot of these systems out here, I'm always open. Like, my channel is, it's not, I don't care enough to be anti, right? I care more about the pro-independence, the pro-art. So I would love for you to come on the platform and talk about how this differs, because there may be somebody who fits that avatar a lot better than I do. And I would be irresponsible to not expose that to them.
Yeah, and also Curtis gave a verbal agreement to coming back on my channel and talk about the producer community.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. You want some clickbait? I'm gonna turn it to Charleston White for an episode, because that's what I gotta say about the producer community. I'm not gonna say it on my channel right now, because
where's my pepper spray?
It's nasty, bro. It's nasty right now, and I hate
to see. I love the responsibility that people are being asked to accountability, I should say. I like that. But
I'm curious more about. I'm gonna do some more reactions to this. I'm so curious I want to know more about what he's talking about with the whole producer. Well, I've been out the scene for a minute, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm not paying attention to all this negativity, man.
There's some things along this line that I'm like, it's just nasty. It's not from a place of I care. It's from a place of I want.
No, it's like the people who are like, oh, people can't handle me because I'm too honest. It's like, well, you just walk down the street and call someone that you don't even know a raggedy bitch. Well, that's how I felt. There's a difference between.
I'm built different.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a different. They can't handle the truth. It's not really.
That's like how it works. That's how life works. Until you get punched in the mouth, then you be like, you know what? I can't be like that everywhere I go, because that's just not possible. Like,
bruh, Damon's trying to go. Damon's trying to go. They don't want to let him leave.
Literally, but like,
I do mean literally, because that will change. First, if I got punched in the mouth, it changed my mind about a lot of things I said. I don't mean that figuratively. I mean that literally. When you get punched in the mouth and know that that's on the table, I don't need to be the puncher. I don't need to be in nobody's jail. Plus, my body don't heal the same way a day after. I'm not trying to go fight as a first option. But I will say, getting punched in the mouth when somebody is so irrational and all over the place, it can change your psyche. It can change the way that you view your world, because it can come at you real fast. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm still out here talking shit, but
let's save it for another episode. I love y'all, and I mean that. I really mean that. Y'all are important to this space. There's not enough thought leaders in this, and y'all are thought leaders. If you feel like I gave you any strays, Dame, ain't no strays to you. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I felt. I don't see you as no damn guru, because you did this, bro. I was watching a DVD with my independent, like, that's what we need to be doing right there.
Wait a minute. The Doers. Is there a podcast already called The Doers? I feel like that when we just snatched
that may be our name. We see you, Curtis King.
Like that one meme.
We got to put the little crown in the corner of our logo. Just give
maybe it's 3 crowns.
Doers. We're living in a time where that is a lost art for some people, where they'll listen and buy products from people who never even did it. It's the Clubhouse effect.
Or people who did it a decade ago.
And I have more respect for that one than I do somebody who never even tried. They just got on Clubhouse and
talk loud enough. People are like, he must be real. It must be true. It must be right. Because
The Doers. I like the name that they came up with. Yo, I'm a fan, man. I like everything that you guys heard action. I'm gonna end it here. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want me to do more content like this and just give my insights. In fact, I will do it in different spaces and different things. Just whenever I'm, feel like just chilling, listening to some podcasts. I'm gonna turn on the camera. Whatever comes up, comes up. I said a lot today. I've been trying to make a video about this for so long. It just happened to be today that I actually turned on the camera and, just give my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about this whole Spotify thing and everything that they talked about in this podcast. Drop your comments down below. And without further ado, I'm going to see you on the next video, man. Y'all take it easy. Take care of yourself. And, no matter what you do, stay consistent with yourself. Focus, be intentional, and, put a lot of love into what you do, man. And, peace. I'm out.